Hey folks, it's Florida Deere, and today we're going to do a small repair on the John Deere 1023E. And this is kind of the video that I don't really like to do because it's a repair on a new tractor. And I say new tractor, I mean it's a little bit over 2 years old, but this is the kind of thing that I don't think I should have to repair this early in my ownership experience with, of all things, a John Deere. So I'll get into that and why I'm having to do this repair, and I'll get into why this repair is so complicated. But if you like this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel as well. And I'll get started right now. So the reason why I have to replace it is because I've multiple times bumped it loose. Okay, so I bumped it loose and then I tightened this nut down here, and eventually the last time I tried to tighten it, it just went around and round and round. So the rod, and probably to a certain extent the little set screw, or rather set nut there, was stripped. And I've probably done that a number of times. Maybe I'm going to say 5, 6, 7 times I've tightened that as it's come loose. Maybe as little as 4 times in a little over 2 years. So that's really not a lot of times to really put a lot of pressure on that. But sure enough, it has stripped off and become useless now. The part is made in the USA. It's LVU 32161. So the cool part is it's American. The bad part is it's an American part that, became defective, relatively quick. I mean, again, it's a little over 2 years. I think it's something like that should last a little longer. I'm going to use some blue thread locker this time as I set everything in place, and then hopefully that will help me from bumping it and it coming loose. And the reason why this is a more difficult repair is that if this was about, say, I don't know, 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, this would have been a super easy repair, because all I would do is do what I've done here, take that off, put the new one on, screw the little ball on the top that has nothing to do with the silver thing, okay? And I would be done. But what I have to do now, and I had considered rotating this, this is actually upside down right now. Again, I think there is, as you look at this, I believe the left-hand side is shorter than the right-hand side. Where the bends are, I think there's more after the bend over here than there is after there. And the way this is set up, the long end is on the bottom, and I switched them around to see if it worked that way. But since I have to take out the electrical on all of this, I decided that I was just going to do this once. So I went ahead and paid the 33 bucks or whatever the heck it was for this piece of metal right here, which is kind of ridiculous. I did get a new set screw there as well. I think that was like, I don't know, like $1 or something. Anyway. And because I just wanted to do it once, so I have to go down here. I disconnect this right here. And then also there's 2 items up in the engine compartment that are the ground and stuff for the other end of that electrical. So, and I have to take out the zip ties that are under there and so on and so forth. So that's why it's kind of a pain in the butt. So we'll get into that. Okay, so here we are under the tractor, and so I don't know if you can see, but this black part right here is the electrical that comes down from the lever. Try to keep my hand out of the way. And then it goes to here, right here, and splits off into this plug. Okay, and then these parts, as you can see, they're all zip tied. Let me see if I can get that in there. See, zip tie, zip tie, zip tie, zip tie. And these go all the way routed through here, up under the frame, and then into the engine compartment, which I'll have to show you at a later. I literally hate John Deere's hood arrangement. I think it's like, it's gotta be the worst thing in the world as far as hood arrangements go on these tractors. before I put on the hydraulic diverter. Wow, that thing is, there we go. So we take apart the red, it goes into the fuse panel. Now, of course, I'll have to remember where that went, and I'm not sure I do. So, and then this is, it's probably a 1/2 inch, maybe a 9/16, but I'm gonna bet it's a 1/2 inch. It seems like everything with John Deere is 1/2 inch or 10 millimeter, and occasionally it's 18 millimeter. It's 1/2 inch. As you can see right here, that's where the black wire goes, right here for the diverter. And then the problem is that I put a plethora of zip ties basically everywhere along here to keep everything secure. So that's going to be the biggest thing, is not even doing the electrical, because that was easy. Then your fuse box is right there, which it slides in no problem. It's all these zip ties that I'm gonna have to undo. So I'll get started on that. So I have all the zip ties undone, and I have the joystick and the wiring stuff out. So I just have to redo this part, because I did have to snip this off. So I might make a quick connect on that. That would not fit through one of the tiny holes that I had the system going through. So I think what I did is I fed it through there and then put that item on later. So any case, now I'm ready to attach the joystick handle to the joystick, and then we'll get all that secured exactly where it needs to be, and we'll make sure everything is squared away. We'll blue thread locker everything that we need to thread lock, and then we'll feed all the electrical back down through there, zip tie everything, plug everything in, and then we'll see if it works. Okay, so we've gotten this far, and I would probably recommend if you're having to do this, that you bungee cord or zip tie these. It'll make them, when you're spinning it around having to deal with several feet of wiring is going to be a pain in the butt. So that ended up probably being a smart choice. And I think one of the other guys on an installation video were talking about, keeping it together before you, get everything squared away. So I used the blue thread locker down here, and I used the thread locker up here too, and actually put the old nut right there as a stop nut. I'm not sure what I did before. I didn't have that there, so I'm not sure. Maybe I just screwed it down there and it actually fit pretty well the first time, having this larger nut all the way down, so that's a possibility. So it's slightly offset, slightly tilted to the outside. I don't know if you can tell, but that's really not because that's how it ended up. I mean, I measured it, or not measured it, but put it exactly where I wanted it to be. But my natural tendency is to have the hand a little cocked out for, comfort, and to be able to operate the the diverter. So, all right, folks, 10 zip ties later. There were 2 here, multiple ones under there for both this hookup right here, plus the 2 wires that split off. I ran them slightly different route because just trying to play with the brake and stuff and looking at the clearances in some of the holes, I didn't think they would, it was best that they went there. And then this was put back in there. As you can see, the bolt right over there is the ground, and then this goes to the fuse box. And I didn't have the right connector, so I went ahead and just had to splice them together. So I couldn't put a quick connect on it. But that job is done, and we did get it correctly. As you can see, the red light blinking there, that's me hitting the diverter, so that does work. Anyways, if you liked the video, you can hit the like button, and please consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more videos about the John Deere 1 series or my John Deere garden tractors. And I have some other ones out back, but those are the main ones I'm keeping. So anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.